land on the mountain peak, the air fills with a powerful purple energy that appears as ghostly blades in the sky. Yaan is surrounded by this same powerful aura as he raises his cleaver high above his head with both hands. With a tremendous battle cry, he unleashes a devastating downward slash. The force of the single strike is so great that it appears to rip a tear in the landscape, revealing a stunning view of a full moon and a starry cosmos within the void. Yaan can only stare up from below, his face a mask of utter shock. He is completely stunned by the incredible power that his father, a man he thought was just a simple pig butcher, has just shown. After the attack, Yaan calmly turns to his dumbfounded son and names the technique he just witnessed. He calls it the first knife, Yin Star. Without pausing, Yaan announces the second knife. He launches himself into the air, his cleaver glowing with a cyan energy. He spins in a fluid, powerful motion, unleashing a massive, horizontal wave of energy that slices through the air. This attack is so powerful, it appears to cut the moon in the cosmic void in half. Still completely stunned, Yaan cries out to his father, demanding to know how he is performing such impossible feats. Landing gracefully, Yaan explains that it is simply an illusion. The attack distorts the space around them, which in turn refracts the light and tricks the eye. With a confident smirk, he prepares to show his son the third and final move. Instead of using his knife, he channels a terrifying red energy into his fist. He unleashes a devastating downward punch, crying out the name of the final technique, Devouring Sun. The impact creates a massive, blinding explosion of golden light that radiates outward. The intense light forces Yaan to shield his eyes. Overwhelmed, he asks his father if these techniques are truly meant for slaughtering pigs, questioning what kind of pig would require such power to kill. His father simply tells him not to ask too many questions, assuring him that he will eventually find a use for what he is learning. With a renewed sense of purpose, Yaan promises to study hard. Yaan then asks Yaan where his pig-slaying knife is. When Yaan explains that it was broken in his fight with Liu Jing Long, his father hands over his own cleaver, telling him to use it for now. Yaan takes the weapon, but is immediately shocked by its incredible weight, struggling just to hold it upright. As his father turns to leave, Yaan is left wondering how his father has been slaughtering pigs with such a heavy tool his entire life. Left alone on the mountaintop, Yaan begins his training. With great effort, he lifts the heavy cleaver and attempts to perform the first move, Yin Star. However, the weight of the weapon is too much for him, and he loses his balance, tumbling to the ground. From a distance, his father watches him practice. Yaan's inner thoughts reveal the true hidden potential of his skills. He thinks to himself that one day, when his silly son reaches the legendary Feng Huang realm, these three simple knife moves will be powerful enough to slay even gods and immortals. Yaan spends the entire night training hard on the mountaintop. He pours all his energy into mastering the heavy cleaver, swinging it again and again with determined shouts, pushing his body to exhaustion until sweat covers his face. As the sun rises, he finally collapses onto the grass, completely spent. After a moment, he forces himself to sit up, still panting and holding the heavy weapon, his body aching. His determination is fueled by the memory of his father's worried expression and Liu Xing's threats, pushing him to continue. With a final, desperate roar, he puts all his remaining strength into one last attempt, crying out the name of the technique, Yin Star. This time, he succeeds. He unleashes a powerful wave of energy that tears through the ground, shattering rocks and sending a shockwave so strong it startles a flock of birds on a distant mountain. He stands panting heavily, surrounded by a faint blue aura, exhausted but successful. A small, triumphant smile spreads across his face as he looks at the result. A massive, deep scar has been carved into the mountaintop. A blue system notification appears, confirming his incredible progress. Through his night of training, he has advanced to the level of a 9th-rank apprentice. His core attributes, strength, agility, and spirit, have all soared to 55. His Blood Shadow Butcher skill has reached level 2, and most importantly, he has successfully learned his father's powerful new skill, Yin Star. The story shifts to a hospital room, where medical equipment beeps. Yaan is lying unconscious in a bed, completely drained after his intense training session. In a nearby office, his mother sits with a female doctor, her face filled with worry as she asks if her son is all right. The doctor, the same psychiatrist from the beginning, reassures her. She explains that Yaan is fine and has only fainted from exhaustion after a night of extremely hard physical activity. Upon hearing this, his mother's expression darkens with fury. She internally blames her husband, Ye Yuan, for pushing their child so hard and vows to make him pay. The doctor continues her analysis, consulting her notes. She explains that based on the lactic acid in his body, it appears he did 1,000 sit-ups, 1,000 push-ups, and 1,000 squats in a single night. To top it off, she adds that he also seems to have run a full 100 kilometers. Ye Chuan's mother is in disbelief, asking the doctor if she is joking and how it is possible for any human to do so much in one night. The doctor calmly replies that while a normal person could never do it, given Ye Chuan's mental state, she finds it believable. This explanation only fuels his mother's rage. She leaps to her feet, calling her husband a bastard and furiously declaring that she is going home to beat him so badly he won't recognize his own mother. She storms out of the office, slamming the door. Left alone, the doctor reflects on Ye Chuan's incredible physical stamina, realizing the amount of exercise would have killed an ordinary person. A seductive smile plays on her lips as she decides she will have to give him some one-on-one counseling that night. However, when she returns to Ye Chuan's hospital room, she is shocked to find the bed empty. She stands in the doorway, baffled, wondering where her patient has gone. Having escaped from the hospital, Ye Chuan walks down the street alone. He reflects on his training, realizing the powerful Yin Star technique drains so much stamina that he should only use it as a last resort. A sudden thought then strikes him. Today is the day he can finally go to Master Tai Shin to get his new knife forged. He makes his way through the city and soon arrives at a large, traditional-looking building with a sign that reads, Tai Shin Forging. He stands at the entrance, ready to meet the master weaponsmith. Inside the forge, a large, muscular man with a wild beard is hard at work. From Ye Chuan's perspective, the master is a massive, wild boar who grunts in acknowledgement of his arrival. Master Tai Shin confirms the boy's identity, and Ye Chuan simply nods. The master explains that the Xia family's steward has already spoken to him, and that he worked through the night to forge the knife Ye Chuan requested. Leaning in, he looks at Ye Chuan with skepticism, mentioning he heard the boy was just a simple pig butcher. He finds it strange that the powerful Xia family would pay so much money and rush him to forge a weapon for a mere butcher. He correctly guesses that the only logical reason would be if Ye Chuan had saved the young miss of the family. As he speaks, he opens a fancy wooden box, revealing a beautifully crafted dark-bladed knife. As Ye Chuan reaches out to take his new weapon, Master Tai Shin stops him, telling him not to be so hasty. The master, now appearing as a fierce, red-eyed boar in Ye Chuan's vision, explains the blade's exceptional quality. He says it was forged from a piece of 1,000-year-old cold iron, making it a high-grade, yellow-rank weapon. He then gives a final warning. A powerful knife chooses its owner. If Ye Chuan's own strength is not enough, he might not even be able to lift it. Ignoring the master's warning, Ye Chuan reaches into the box with a calm, determined expression. He grips the handle of the new knife and, with his eye flashing with focus, lifts the powerful spirit weapon with surprising ease. He internally notes that the new weapon is significantly lighter than the incredibly heavy cleaver his father uses. Master Tai Shin, appearing as a shocked, sweating boar in Ye Chuan's vision, can only stare in disbelief, wondering how the boy could lift such a heavy blade so effortlessly. Holding the sparkling new weapon, Ye Chuan asks what it is called. The flustered master stammers that it has not been named yet, and since it belongs to Ye Chuan, he should be the one to name it. Impressed by the Xia family's wealth, Ye Chuan thinks for a moment and then makes his decision. With a serious expression, he proudly names his new weapon the Dragon-Slaying Knife. The grand name is so over the top that Master Tai Shin is literally shocked, spitting out his drink in surprise. The master can only look on with a weary expression.